Now at 10, a touching tribute tonight to honor one of the victims of the Garlic Festival shooting. We hear from the people remembering Kayla Salazar's legacy. Plus this.
A grandmother's sorrowful words tonight as she remembers her grandson killed in the shooting. We learn more about the young man and his life tragically cut short.
And double check your food orders, the shocking act thousands of delivery drivers admit to before your order gets to you.
This is KION News Channel 546 on the Central Coast CW.
Family and friends of one of the victims in Sunday's shooting are mourning tonight. Kayla Salazar was only 13 years old when she was shot and killed by the gunman. Thanks for being here. I'm Zach Fuentes. And I'm Amanda Gomez. In San Jose tonight, a vigil where those who knew her best remember the legacy she leaves at such a young age. KION's Josh Cristianto is live for us. And Josh, the family spoke about Kayla and what they're going through with reporters tonight.
The family of Kayla Salazar asked that the vigil remain private, but before that they shared a few statements with us. They wanted people to learn more about the Kayla they loved so much.
We wanted to be here because we think it's important that the community knows who Kayla is and how important she is for us.
Emotions, hard to fathom, pulsated through the family and friends of 13-year-old Kayla Salazar. Her mother, too stricken with grief, wrote a statement that Kayla's aunt read aloud.
Kayla was a beautiful children that really cared for other people, and she cared about animals, and she was our motivation. And we're in pain that we lost her.
Kayla attended Ace Power Academy in San Jose, where she recently graduated. A school administrator describes her as a smart, beautiful, and vibrant young woman.
Kayla was taken from her family and the community here who loves her far too soon.
Kayla had younger siblings whom she took care of. She loved dogs and had a guinea pig of her own. For many here, it's a loss not only of a loved one, but also of a sense of safety.
As for Gilroy, we definitely feel a loss of safety. You know, the festival is it's like our big family reunion every year.
A family violated by an act of violence and a girl taken away far too soon. And her family says her 14th birthday is actually this Saturday, but they'll be mourning her now. The family says they are also grateful for all the support they got from the community during this difficult time. Reporting live in Gilroy, Josh Cristianto, KION News Channel 546.
All right, Josh, thank you. Kayla Salazar is just one of 3 victims we are remembering tonight. The others, Trevor Irby and Stephen Romero. We heard an emotional plea from Stephen's cousin today. Take a listen.
I never thought any of my cousins would pass away to gun violence. I want everyone to stand strong and stand against gun violence. This isn't right, especially for such a little boy to pass away like this.
Joshua there went on to say Romero's life and family will never be the same, and his life will never be the same, and how unacceptable this situation is. Gilroy was mentioned during tonight's Democratic presidential debate multiple times, including on the topic of gun violence. Senator Amy Klobuchar brought up Romero's death when criticizing a lack of action on gun reform.
I will make sure that we get universal background checks passed, the assault weapon ban, that we do something about magazines, and that we understand when that little 6-year-old boy died, Stephen Romero, when his dad said he's only 6 years old, all I can say is he's 6 years old. We have to remember that.
We also heard from Trevor Irby's grandmother. The 25-year-old was a recent college grad in New York and moved to California to be with his fiancée, Sarah. Irby's grandmother says the two were inseparable.
Oh, God, she loved him. I mean, I think she actually worshipped the ground that kid walked on. I mean, she'd do anything for him, and he would do anything for her.
Sarah and Trevor were at the Garlic Festival together when gunfire rang out. Sarah was not physically hurt, but she, along with Trevor's family, are heartbroken, trying to find a way to say goodbye.
Really is no way. We want to get to the latest information on the investigation. Now, tonight we found out more about the suspect's movements before the shooting rampage and what was found in his apartment and vehicle. Police searched Santino Ligon's home in Gilroy and also his northern Nevada apartment. Officers found a shotgun in Ligon's car today and a bag of ammo near the festival grounds. Investigators also seized a bulletproof vest, empty shotgun, rifle boxes, gas mask, and ammunition boxes from the Nevada apartment.
It certainly seems to me that it was pre-planned, but how long and how widespread and whether there was any additional component of the plan, I just don't know at this point.
Surveillance video obtained by police also found him doing all of these things alone, buying ammo, buying different things. Police are urging the public to be patient as they continue to investigate. Investigators are expected to be on the scene for several more days, and police are also encouraging people to continue to call in with any pictures or video or information about the shooting as they try to determine a motive.
It has been a brutal waiting game for many of the people who were working at the Gilroy Garlic Festival when they had to run for their lives, their cars and other belongings left behind. And now 2 days, they've been stuck behind the caution tape at that crime scene.
But today, police allowed a first wave of people near Christmas Hill Park. KION's Alicia Machado is live there now with how vendors are coping with the tragedy.
I spoke with vendors and volunteers who were able to return to Christmas Hill Park today, and they say they're desperately in need of getting belongings that are back inside the park. But despite that urgency, they still remember the images of the horror and the panic they felt Sunday afternoon. The main entrance to the Gilroy Garlic Festival remains blocked off and guarded 2 days after the tragedy. Small vigils are placed at the side of the road for victims. The shooting still weighing on the minds of vendors who ducked and dashed for cover as gunshots rang through the air, some seeing the events unfold directly from their booths.
We went into our booth, we gathered up. And seconds later, as the pop, 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 pop.
Just as the festival was wrapping up its final day.
I had people dive into my booth with a kid and try to hide.
People are still trying to process what happened.
It was just so unreal, you know? Gilroy is a small town, and that's a family event.
The tragedy weighing heavy on their hearts, but some also wonder when they will be able to collect their belongings stuck behind the crime scene's caution tape. Jewelry vendor John Shipp tells me he and others left products, medication, and cell phones at the festival as they ran for their lives.
I have $100,000 worth of jewelry in my booth, and how am I going to, this is my kid's education. This is college, I have to protect it.
Vendors and volunteers were allowed to pick up their cars and belongings from certain parking lots Tuesday, but the inside of Christmas Hill Park still remains closed as law enforcement continues their investigation. Shipp hopes he will soon be able to get in to tear down his booth and cut his losses after an already tragic weekend. But despite this issue, vendors who live locally remain hopeful that Gilroy will rise above the tragedy. Christmas Hill Park still remains closed to the public, and we don't have any word yet on when the inside of the park will be open. For now, live in Gilroy, Alicia Machado, KION News Channel 546.
Alicia, thank you. And tomorrow, vendors and volunteers will be able to get their cars from 2 lots. But as residents of Gilroy continue to mourn tonight, Santa Clara County is working to help victims. It's opened a family assistance center to help in all aspects of healing. For anything from counseling to compensation, the Family Assistance Center will be open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Rucker Elementary School for the rest of the week, and they'll assess the need for it after that. And there are counseling services also available at Christopher High School from 8 to 5 daily. There's also a 24-hour crisis hotline, so don't hesitate to call if you'd like someone to talk to. The number is 408-683-4118.
Gilroy is also getting some help from a Bay Area baseball team at tonight's Oakland A's baseball game. All of the proceeds from garlic food items like burgers and fries went toward benefiting the victims of this tragedy.
but something just told me not to go to the festival, and I promised some people some food, but just that gut feeling told me to stay, and I did. And within half an hour I heard sirens, and then I realized people were saying there was a shooting at the festival, which just shocked me. I mean, this doesn't happen in Gilroy.
That is Ruben Perez, a longtime Gilroy resident. He tells KION he's been going to the Garlic Festival all of his life since it first started. He was heartbroken for the victims and their families, says he immediately went to buy one of these Gilroy Strong shirts to show his support.
When I found out they were selling these shirts, it's a minuscule gesture, but I had to buy a shirt, and I let my friends know, buy a shirt, let's show people that we're strong. Because I'm going next year. This isn't going to stop me from going to the festival.
These T-shirts are being sold at 4 businesses around the city led by the Downtown Business Association. They are $20 cash only. All of the proceeds from these shirts go straight to the victims. They can be found at Cal Silk, the offices of Windmere Real Estate, and the T-shirt place, as well as Maria Sid Farmer's Insurance Agency.
And the tragedy at the Garlic Festival is forcing other Central Coast celebrations to rethink their security measures. That includes the Watsonville Strawberry Festival, which is happening this weekend, and police want to assure everyone that they are prepared. You can expect to see more officers patrolling among the expected 40,000 visitors throughout the weekend. They'll be on bikes and at a mobile command center. The police department's adding officers on bikes, and for the first time, that mobile command center is going to include both police and the fire department.
It's quite substantial. We know that people are scared. As a society, we need to come together. We need to stay strong and united against cowards who do these heinous acts.
It's Police Chief Dave Honda there. And other upcoming events are already planning ahead to see what possible changes they could make to further improve security, like the Santa Cruz County Fair in September. All right, up next, continuing coverage of the Garlic Festival tragedy. We find out more about the shooter and where he got the weapon.
Plus, a woman's unspeakable act inside her local Walmart.